Here with reaction is Professor of Business and Economics at the King's College in Manhattan, Fox News contributor and former neighbor of mine when we were in 5th grade, Brian Brenberg, and Fox Business contributor Phil Flynn. Brian, great to see you. Adding this all up, it almost makes me feel like we are back to never let a crisis go to waste. You're going to feel the pain. Right. We don't have the answer, but the answer is more pain to this perfect green future. You're just going to have to wait a while for it and suffer in the process.
This is a problem, Pete. It doesn't add up. The president is doubling down on the wrong hand. We have seen this play out before. That's what we've watched in Europe for the better part of 2 decades. They have tried to double down on green energy, and it left them dependent on a dictator. We're going to end up in the exact same kind of spot if we keep going down the green religion path that he's going down. A religion that demands sacrifice, isn't interested in growth, isn't interested in getting wealthier so we can innovate cleaner technologies. It wants Americans to pay up. This is the wrong approach. Phil can give you all the numbers, Pete, but at this point, the president completely lacks any strategic direction on helping Americans. One gets the impression, and you can see this in the polls, Americans think this, one gets the impression that the president likes these higher prices because he doesn't want to let this crisis go to waste, and he's willing to put it on the backs of American families.
It's amazing. Phil, give me those numbers, because there are alternatives and ways we could find the energy resources required to both support ourselves and get back to energy independence and energy dominance, but also support Europe as it seeks to cut itself off from Russia as well. Are we going to do any of those things?
Yeah, we should. Absolutely. I mean, we have enough natural gas in the ground to supply the U.S. and Europe maybe for 100 to 200 years, and with new technologies and innovation, even more than that. But what I find amazing about this, Pete, here is President Biden, saying he's going to double down on his green energy policy, but then when they get into trouble, they call on the U.S. energy industry to save their backsides, right? What's that all about? It's like, hey, we're going to send you good old-fashioned American-made LNG from America to Europe to save the day. Well, who made that? It was the U.S. energy industry, mostly done on private lands because you can't get a federal lease these days, And, I wonder if they call the energy companies. Are they going to buy this energy and then give it to Europe? Or, are they going to dictate who we sell this to? Listen, the U.S. energy industry is more than ready and willing to grow their business so they can do this in the future. But not with Joe Biden in office, when every step of the way they get in their way of doing what they want to do.
Yeah, Brian, I don't know if you heard the previous segment, but I was talking to Matt Schlapp, and I said, what do we do? He said, wait 3 years. And he was sort of joking, but that's the feeling a lot of Americans have right now is it doesn't feel like the cavalry is coming. So if we know oil and gas and nuclear, if we would ever explore that, but if we knew actual oil and gas independence is something we could do, and we're not going to do it, then what happens for the next 3 years for Americans?
Well, we keep paying up, Pete. I mean, that's the problem. That's why people are so pessimistic about their economic situation right now. They're not pessimistic because they think the American economy can't be great. They're pessimistic because they've got a president who has no plan for getting out of this. He has a plan for digging deeper into this. We need some hope. We need a president to go out on American soil and speak to American oil and gas producers and say, we are doubling down on your production. We are doubling down on your pipelines. We are going to become independent, not just for our sake, but for the sake of the world. Europe depends on this. Frankly, they need a rescue right now, and the only country on planet Earth that can do that is the United States of America. But we've got to have a president, because nobody believes that he wants to see this industry thrive. The banks don't believe it. The producers don't believe it. The pipeline infrastructure guys don't believe it. He has got to go out there and say, I'm going to stand up to everybody in this country who's been telling me to double down on green energy, and instead I'm going to double down on American production of oil and gas. That's it, Pete. Otherwise, it's 3 years of the same thing you've seen for the last 3 months.
Phil, on the campaign trail, Joe Biden said repeatedly that he wanted to end fossil fuels. He was going after the oil and gas industry. He was going after fracking. He's going after energy. Let's just say if in a terrible Green New Deal world, he and his leftist friends got what they wanted in the Green New Deal and their climate agenda. What would that do to what we're actually facing right now as a country? What would that actually mean?
Pete, we would look at these as the good old days of cheap energy prices. You know, their plans, you know, if you do the math on what they're trying to accomplish, it's similar to what's happening in Europe. And Europe is only a preview of what's going to happen. I mean, natural gas at the peak got to the equivalent of $600 a barrel crude oil this year. You know, now you can imagine, you know, gasoline prices in California are already close to $7 a gallon. With oil, you had 104. Could you imagine what they would be if oil prices were up to 600? So this is just craziness. Listen, at the end of the day, when we're talking about the green energy deal, we need to pull back from this, because what it is a deal that will undermine the U.S. economy. It will take money from the poor and give it to the green energy rich. This isn't even about, you know, cleaning the environment, because if you really go through these green energy things, you know, the United States has actually reduced greenhouse gas emissions better than anybody in the Paris Climate Accord.
And as it pertains to energy dominance, it was Ronald Reagan in the 80s who warned Germany, if you depend on Soviet energy, if you approve Nord Stream 1, you're going to be beholden to them someday in the future. Here we are. Trump warned of the same thing. Biden didn't, and here we are. That's why many people, including my co-host on Fox and Friends Weekend, Rachel Campos-Duffy, calls this the Green New Deal war. And I think it's pretty tough to refute that at this point. Brian and Phil, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.